Hello everyone, and happy belated Valentine's Day. I know it is a little bit late, but sometimes we're a little bit late for things. I had a really lovely Valentine's Day with my friends. We went out dancing and listened to some really great live music. I had a donut with little pink and white and red Valentine's Day sprinkles on it, and it was very good. And overall, it was just a really nice day. I had so much fun, and it was just really lovely. So I hope you all had a really good Valentine's Day too, whether that was like alone or with your friends or with someone special. I hope it was really lovely and that you had a nice time. Today, for this week's video, I did want to do something that had kind of a Valentine's Day theme, and I've been playing Stardew Valley again. And this time around, I'm romancing Harvey, so I thought, oh, I could draw him for Valentine's Day, do a little bit of fan art. I never draw fan art, maybe it'll be fun. And I think also that I have kind of a different image of Harvey in my mind than maybe is the intended image of Harvey. I think that he is probably, I think in my mind, a lot more handsome than maybe Concerned Ape intended him to be. But that's okay. We can be delusional about what our man looks like. But I don't know. So, you know, he likes coffee, he likes pickles, he likes mayonnaise, he likes wine. So I gave him a little wine bottle in this illustration. Yeah, I think he's nice. I like sort of like some of the older bachelors like Harvey and Elliot and Shane. I think they're a little bit more interesting. And Harvey, he's just a really nice guy. I don't know. He's a doctor. He wanted to be a pilot, but he has bad eyesight, so he couldn't be a pilot, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. You know, you can't always get what you want in life, but I think being a doctor is pretty cool too. And I don't know. I think he's cute and nice, and it's been fun playing Stardew Valley again. I like sort of min-maxing my farm's profits, even in the early game. It's a lot of fun, and it's very different than a lot of other games I tend to play. I love like Dark Souls, a really like hard video games, so playing just like a little cozy farming sim has been a nice break from that, and just a nice way to just be kind of calm and zen. I can't play for very long because I get bored, but it's nice, just little short bursts here and there when I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to go to Stardew Valley and go farming. And it's been really nice. So I don't know if I'll end up like finishing, quote unquote, the playthrough, like getting to year 3 and stuff, but so far it's been really fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's been a nice return to a game that I've had for a long time. Now, since it's Valentine's Day, or it was Valentine's Day recently, and Valentine's Day is all about love and all about romance, I also wanted to talk about some of the other characters that I really like in video games, both romanceable and sadly non-romanceable. But I really like Gale from Baldur's Gate 3. I think he's so cute. He's like a big nerd. There may be sort of like a trend here, but I really like him. He's so sweet and nice. And like, I think that the game takes a really interesting approach to dealing with kind of like his past abuse that he suffered and like his depression. And I think he's a really interesting and very nice character. I used to be a really big fan of Asterion, but I don't know. There's just something about him. I don't know. I'm not an Asterion girly. Also, my sort of original video game crush I ever had was on Nick Valentine from Fallout 4. He's not romanceable, but he is so nice. I was gonna say cute. He's not really cute. He's kind of like a horrible, disintegrating robot man, but he's like a little detective. He's so nice. He just wants to like help people and like do a good job. And I think he's very tragic in the sense that he's kind of like the only one of his kind. And he has all these memories, but they're like not his, but they feel like they're his. And he has this sort of like identity crisis, but he does so much to help the player character. And the fact that he isn't romanceable is such a crime because he's so nice and he does so much to help you. And like, I don't know. That's just me, but I think he's lovely. And I think that Bethesda made a mistake. Not their first, nor will it be their last. I'm also a big fan of Dorian from Dragon Age. I know that he's gay, but I love him. I love his shitty little mustache. I love that he's a little mage. He's really great. Oh, and I also wanted to say a shout out to Estinian from Final Fantasy XIV. He's kind of ugly, in my opinion, but my friend likes him, and so I guess he's like, maybe he's fine. He's okay, I guess. Also from Dragon Age, though, is Alistair. He's so, like, sweet and nice. Kind of like an honorable mention. I don't know if I'm like, oh my god, I love this guy. I'm obsessed with his character, but he's very sweet, and I enjoyed romancing him when I played through the first Dragon Age game. Now, talking about the actual art itself, I don't know, I think it turned out okay. I went into this piece with, like, not a totally great, well thought out vision, and obviously that was my first mistake. I had done some sketches of the pose and, like, how I wanted to draw, like, his face and his body and just kind of, like, the character design aspects of it, but I hadn't really thought through the actual, like, entire illustration and, like, if I did want to frame or not, and, like, what that frame would look like. And I think this one maybe isn't my best work. Is it literally fine and, like, a pretty good piece of art? Yes. Is it my best? No. And I can acknowledge that both of those things are true. So I'm not, like, over the moon happy about this. I feel like the last few pieces that I've done and shared on YouTube, I've been a lot more proud of. But I did still want to post this, not only because it's, like, seasonal, but also because I think it's important for artists to see other artists struggling with their work and to see that, like, maybe something isn't always, like, things don't always turn out the way that you have planned with your art. I think that on social media, we tend to only see the very best of the best, and obviously this is not one of my worst pieces, but it isn't one of my best either, and I wish that there was room for more sharing of pieces that failed and, you know, ugly sketches and just sort of like the realities of art. I think there's a lot of pressure, especially for young artists who are seeing all of these, like, older, more experienced, even sometimes, like, you know, 45-year-old professional artists who work in the industry who are posting obviously this, like, amazing work, and they're seeing it and they're like, well, my art doesn't look like that. And I think it can be very discouraging. I know that, like, comparison is the thief of joy, but I also think, you know, it's natural to compare ourselves to others. And so I don't know, I just wanted to post it anyway. I think part of my frustration with this piece in particular is that I know that I made it, and I know that I didn't maybe not try as hard, but, like, I've been really wanting to change how my art looks and break out of certain techniques and try new things, and I keep not doing that. I think because doing what I'm familiar with and doing what I've been doing and doing what comes naturally feels very safe, and that's great. It's great to feel safe, but I think that it's really stunting my growth as an artist and stopping me from achieving my goals with my art. And so I think I just really need to kind of have, like, a quote unquote, like, tough conversation with myself and just, like, you know, get it together, stop doing things that are just the way that you do them because it's the way that you do them, and figure out a way forward for your art that you actually like. And, you know, then maybe you will like it more and you'll have better results and it'll be more fun and all of this. And I don't know why it's been so difficult for me for so long to kind of break out of these patterns that of just, like, doing the same things and then getting the same result and being like, I don't like this result, which, you know, is great. So I'm hoping that soon I will see the results of some of the work that I've been doing in my sketchbook and behind the scenes to just really, like, study and learn and grow as an artist, and that soon I will be able to put that new information and new skill set into my art that I am making and sharing, and that it will pay off sooner rather than later. Art is a skill like any other, and you have to practice in order to improve, and so I think I'm just kind of at a point with my art where I need to really buckle down and get some really solid practice in, And I think then I will be really happy with the results. I was thinking I might do like a figure drawing video or like a study with me video in the coming days. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not totally sure if that's what I want to do. I don't know how much of my own like studies I want to put on the internet. I'm not like a particularly good figure drawing artist. So we'll see. I don't know how much value there would be in me sharing that. But it might happen. We'll see. I like the idea of forming kind of like a community of artists who like practice and grow together, but we'll see. I'm not sure how that's gonna pan out. It's possible though. You can let me know if that's something you would want to see in the comments. Like if you would be interested in seeing some of like the studies that I do or like figure drawings or whatever. I'm by no means an expert, but I would be happy to share if that was something people were interested in seeing. Also, that kind of reminds me that another thing that I really want to work on is that I need to spend less time playing video games and more time drawing. I love video games. They're so much fun. But like if I play Deadlock for hours every day, those are hours that I could be drawing. Maybe if I cut it back to just 1 hour, I would have more time and energy for my art, and then I would improve faster. I know that this whole video is video game fan art, but I think as much as I love video games, I'm gonna have to put them down for a little bit so that I can really get on my art grind and really get in there. I went on a little bit of a tangent there, I think, talking about kind of, you know, my goals and current struggles with my art. But bringing it back to the art that I'm making in this video, as much as I'm like not totally happy with how it turned out, it was really fun. I enjoyed drawing the heart and the lace or like fabric ruffles around the edge of it. That was really fun. And I'm glad that I didn't go with the kind of lace that I had initially planned to draw. You can see very briefly, I try doing like little tiny, very delicate heart lace, and I go, oh my god, I do not want to draw this heart lace. This is going to be like a total nightmare. Let's do something else. And I think it turned out really nice. It looks very vintagey, which is great. I feel like Stardew Valley has kind of like a vintagey vibe to the town. Like, I don't think it's not like a historical setting, but it has like I don't know, like a vintage vibe, and it's definitely not like totally modern. So I thought that would be cute and nice to include in the illustration, that little touch of the past. Also, I don't know, I must have just been in the mood for little fiddly details because I ended up doing all of these little hatch marks on his jacket. In the game, it's just like green. Obviously, it's, you know, it's pixel art. There's not a ton of definition, but I've always felt like his jacket would probably be like a tweed, like a dark green tweed jacket if he was like a real human being, because who is wearing like a green suit jacket in that color? I don't know. So I've always kind of imagined it to be like a tweed, and I wanted to include that texture. So instead of just getting a tweed texture from the internet, I was like, why don't I do it by hand? I don't know why I thought this was going to be fun and a good idea. I think it looks nice. I'm glad that I did it the way that I wanted to and that I had the idea for. I think it's always good to try to execute on your ideas, but it was very tiring. Near the end, I start like copying, pasting, and like rotating sections because it was just like a nightmare filling it in. At that point, I was just tired. I was like, I need this to be done so that I can color the illustration and keep working on it. But I think I like how the effect turned out, and I may do something similar in the future, but maybe for like smaller drawings, like for a character's coat in like a couple comic panels. You know, I think that might be interesting, where the space is actually quite small that needs to be filled in. But for this much, it was just a lot of little lines, and my hand got very tired and kind of like crampy. So I don't know if I'll be doing that again, but I do like how it turned out. And then for the coloring, I initially had just like color picked from his sprites, and it looked fine. But I changed my mind and I went back in and changed the colors. I've put together like a little bit of a color palette for myself that I picked the colors from a bunch of different like comic panels and pages that I thought were really beautifully done, and tried to put together, like, you know, here are a bunch of different greens that I might want to use, here are some reds that I might want to use, here are some blues, and with the idea that it may eventually, if I use those colors, give my body of work a more cohesive look. There's a lot of artists that I really love and admire who have this sort of cohesive look with their art where they tend towards the same colors, and I just think it looks really beautiful, and I want that for myself. So I was like, you know what, I should start using this, and I should do it in this piece. And I think it looked way better once I did make that change to his colors. The colors in Stardew Valley are quite saturated, and it's not really my preference necessarily, so I think that ended up looking really good, even though I then go and cover it up with like a pink tint for Valentine's Day. So the colors in the final illustration are slightly different because they have like a pink wash over them. But I think they looked good without the pink. I just wanted it to be more pink for Valentine's Day. So for shading, what I did here, the process was to go in with one color on a multiply layer, which was a kind of a muted purpley color, and then once all of the shading is in, sometimes I like to go back in and adjust the color of each section so that the shading color is a little bit more complementary to the base color. I find this especially useful for skin. I think with most other things, like most other textures, you can get away with just like a blue or purplish shadow, like a cool toned shadow, but I think that they can look a bit dull on the skin, and a warmer color like a dark red or pinkish purple tends to make it look a little bit more lively when you use that to shade. Obviously this is all like assuming like sunlight lighting or studio lighting where you have, you know, warm light and cool shadows. Sometimes maybe you want like a funky color, but that's not really what I was going for here. And then after shading it and, you know, putting on like a pink kind of filter, it was all done. I did go in and add a bit of a construction paper texture to the heart after I stopped recording, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed the video, and also in my little rant about art improvement. I am very excited to keep improving as an artist and to share more with you guys about my art journey, even when that means expressing some of the frustrations that I'm experiencing as an artist. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and bye!